I mean, Crips and Bloods in California were formed out of protecting communities and, you know, oppression by racist white people and you know, other, you know, races and everything else like that. But over time, it formed into criminal organizations.
I don't know when the Crip thing started. I can't even recall how or when. It was just a blood thing from what I remember. I don't know when that changed and when it started becoming Crips too, or even how.
Well, yeah. I mean, for example, when I interviewed Quando Rondo in Savannah, Georgia, what they were accusing him of is being a rolling 60s Crip.
Yeah, right.
So not just Crips, but specific sets.
Right. He not even
from certain regions of LA. Right. Shout out to Big U and them. Mm-hmm. Literally based on certain street names located in California are now
all over
1,800 miles away in a totally different state, and you got these groups of people that are now claiming a street that's thousands of miles away from them, which to me is kind of wild. And, you know, after the whole Lil Pop situation, we got killed, you know, and we talked about this on camera, how Quando basically threw his flag down and said, I'm not part of this anymore. He talked about how, you know, Tukey Williams did the same thing at one point. And other notable people, you know, I mean, Larry Hoover denounced being a gangster disciple. That's what he is, right?
Right.
Yeah, I mix them up sometimes. I don't want to mess it up. You have a lot of notable people that basically say, I'm not down with this anymore. And people are going to say what they're going to say, but it's always been interesting to me how these things have spread. And colors is one thing, but I think hip hop, I think, is the single biggest reason. When you have Lil Wayne from New Orleans and Birdman are now claiming blood, and Birdman got a star tattoo on his head.
Is it that they're following what's already out there in the street? Or because they didn't start it, so are they being influenced by what they see?
It's hard to say because, you know, Birdman's brother, Terrence Gangster Williams, is a regular on my show. And he even said, you know, this is someone who's got 40 bodies, right? He admitted to killing 40 people. He was involved in 40 murders.
What else? Didn't they say he was working? I don't know much
of the story. He cooperated.
He was telling on niggas while he was in jail?
He cooperated on his dead friends.
No, but what about the people that was locked up?
No.
No, that's not true.
We went through all that. I didn't see any evidence of that. People try to say this and that, but we looked at the paperwork, and the paperwork doesn't seem to match up from my point of view. But he told on a bunch of people that, you know, the Hot Boys, the hip-hop group was based on the Hot Boys, the street crew, which he was one of the core members of. He's the only living person out of that crew. Everyone else has gotten killed. So at one point, he cooperated and told the feds about all the murders that he was involved with, that his deceased friends were responsible for doing. What's crazy also is that part of the cooperation required him to actually meet with the family of the victims face to face. I remember there was this one part of the story where he said, I think like the parents of one of the people that he was involved in killing asked if their son suffered. And he said, well, he suffered about as much as the people that he killed also suffered. Hell of an answer.
Sounds real gangster.
Yeah. But, you know, he basically said how Crips and Bloods were not a New Orleans thing. Right. They had their own thing. And Wayne and Baby suddenly claiming blood. And you got to remember that at one time, Lil Wayne was the biggest rapper on the planet. Right? And he's all red ragged out. You gonna tell me that his fans aren't being influenced by seeing this? saying, well, here's a guy now from LA, he's claimed blood. Well,
I'm
in Missouri, why not?
You may have a point. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they influence, young kids to, I don't know.
Look at Snoop.
Right.
Would you say that Snoop is internationally the biggest rapper alive right now?
Yeah. I mean,
worldwide.
To some degree, he's probably one of the most famous rappers ever.
Ever.
If not the most famous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's hosting the Olympics.
Yes, 100%.
He's doing shit that, he performed at Donald Trump's inauguration. He's doing things that rappers have never done.
That's a fact.
And he's still crippin'. He's still got his blue rag on.
It's not a crime to be.
No, it's not. It's not. But I don't think you could doubt the influence. No?
Are people turning Crip because Snoop? I don't know about that. And then you got to also factor in how people grow up. You are a product of your environment. He come from that. This is his world, so he came in the game that way.
Yeah.
He didn't change up.
No, he didn't. And it was tense at death row because you had Suge and all the Bloods over there.
There you go. So
now he's there with all the Crips.
He's been who he is since day one.
Yeah. Yeah, and now look, and it shows how you could turn it all around.
Yep.
And become a A-level celebrity.
A plus.
A plus. That's what it is. By the way, what happened to that series that you were
coming.
doing?
So it's coming. It's coming. Working on other episodes.
How many episodes you got done so far?
We're still in pre-production.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's coming.
Okay. I like the trailer.
Yeah,
we talked about it last time.
100%. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, Maino, man, always a pleasure. Me and you go back before Vlad TV, and we were talking about this before the interview, how we sort of met during the transition of the DVD era to the internet era. That's right. I actually filmed our first interview before Vlad TV when I was doing DVDs, and I put it out on YouTube.
Right. So basically, you owe me some money.
That's what it is.
Before we knew what monetization was, you was already on that.
I was already monetizing. Yeah. Man, always a pleasure when you come in, man. We've always had a great relationship. Always mutually respectful. You and I have had disagreements, and we've always just talked about them. So there's never been any yelling, posturing,
right? Right.
And I've always felt like from day one there's been that mutual respect, and that never went away. And now this is, 2007 to 2025.
I still say that was 2006 though.
Okay, so let's say 2006. So that's 19 years.
Yeah,
we're coming up on 2 decades. Look at us, man.
I'm still here, baby.
We still fly. We still doing our thing. We still have fans. We're still making money, taking care of our families.
That's all that matters.
Think about how many people haven't made it to this point. How many people?
And this is what I'm saying. Sometimes you got to sit back and then,
and there's been so many rappers that I thought was just dope.
Right.
Ultimately just had to hang it up and go get their 9 to 5s along the way. I'm not going to say who because they'll start DMing me about my interviews. This is what happens. I'm always worried to mention certain rappers' names because they'll be like, yo, what's good?
Don't do it.
But, I feel you and I are a rare breed in this game because this is not a game that's designed for longevity.
Right.
It's
so
designed
to be able to stay around.
And to reinvent ourselves.
That's a fact.
I started out as a DJ, then I became a mixtape DJ, then I started doing DVDs and interviews, and that finally stuck. You came out dissing everybody.
Yeah, as a fucking maniac.
As a lunatic.
Con.
But one thing I've noticed about you though is that no matter what you did, I would never see you crash out.
Nah.
You see what I'm saying? I always felt like you always knew the limits of how to push it. You know what I mean? You never, and I've had I like Lil Reese.
Right.
He's back in jail right now for 5 years. I interviewed him. Like, I would DM him and be like, bro, you got to calm down. Like, you're a legend right now just from being on that one song with Chief Keef. Like, you'll always be a legend just because of that. Like, all this extra shit is going to get you caught up. And now he's doing 5 years. You know? So many of us have gone.
Yeah, it could have went so many different ways, man. That's why you gotta appreciate the opportunities and you gotta appreciate the fact that we still here.
Yep.
Still here.
Still here.
Still here, Vlad.
That's what it is. Till next time.
Yeah.
Peace.